Hello everyone, Elspeth here, and we are back today in Rising World. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually put in some appropriately placed food storage because there isn't room on either side of our fireplace for the storage chests that we have to be placed. So I'm going to replace them with the barrels. That just requires removing these shelves real quick. And I'm thinking that I might put the shelves back later on, just higher up, so that I can put 2 barrels on each side. But we'll see. That's a decision for a later time. Now, the next thing that we're going to do today is go on a little foraging expedition. And part of the reason for this is that I don't have a lot of lumber and I can't exactly strip our small little personal forest completely bare. That wouldn't work really well. So I'm going to go and gather more lumber and hopefully find a lot of fruit tree saplings, so cherries and apples. I doubt that I'll be going far enough to find lemon trees. That seems highly unlikely. Now you can see off camera I went ahead and cleared a lot of the grass because that's just really tedious and I didn't want to subject all of you to that. So now we have the space here to plant these nicely. And my plan is to have the fruit trees, our orchard so to speak, be right next to our little pond here, surrounding it. And then beyond the fruit trees, I will have the rest of our little personal forest. So spruce, oak, maple. I'm sure that I'm forgetting a few, but that's okay. No worries. So this is going to be, as I said, a general foraging expedition. I'm largely looking for more wood and tree saplings, but I will also take any and all food that I happen to run into, whether it's potatoes or carrots in the ground or meat on the hoof, because, well, it's a foraging expedition. You forage, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to run a few things by you. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next with this build. Obviously, I need to finish the dugout, largely in terms of construction at least, digging and construction. That means our lower level. That's not finished. I need to finish digging it out and finish putting in walls and a floor and a ceiling and rooms and other individual things. But after that, I don't know exactly what it is that I should do next. So that's where you guys all come in. If you have any specific ideas, drop them down in the comments below. The one idea that I did have was perhaps making a very small settlement below our dugout. And I'm thinking it should be fairly small because our dugout is fairly small. So it's not like I want to try and make a large town, but just a small little settlement there. Maybe put in a bigger farm, build an area that could potentially hold animals if we ever get to the point in the game where we can actually keep them in a corral or a pasture without having to worry about them just casually walking through fencing. That's a little annoying. And I do realize that there is a mod so that you can breed and raise the animals, all of that, but I'm not particularly interested in loading a mod into a game that's still in alpha and still being updated regularly, because historically that tends to create problems with a variety of different games. So I don't really want to try that. I would rather just leave the game as it is and enjoy the updates as Red provides them. And here you can see we're gathering some meat, kind of trying to keep a close eye out for anything that might want to kill me, because you don't really see it until it's on top of you. And by that point in time, sometimes it's a little too late. But I do have bandages, so if I do get attacked, I can bandage myself up afterwards. That was good. We actually got saplings from that one, which is always a good thing. Now, because today we're really just doing some foraging here, I did decide to run it in 2-speed so I can get more done, because foraging and woodcutting is very time consuming, unfortunately. My hope is to create a big enough forest close to us that foraging and going far afield in search of trees becomes unnecessary. I would like to have a sizable orchard, a sizable personal forest wood supply right there at my front door. I will probably be expanding the area used for gardening. Oh, I could try, wow, those cows are fast. I could try actually creating an indoor garden. I will have to try that. That could be what we do next. That could definitely be what we do next. Oh, I'm very fond of that idea. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, now see, this looks like something that we haven't explored before, which is good, because we've been down quite a few of these little holes that are in the vicinity. Oh, and that's a chicken there. That's a chicken that just fell in. So we're going to scurry on down and explore this really quickly. And while we're down there exploring this, we're going to get dinner. Not today's dinner, but future dinner. Never a bad thing to have. Never a bad thing to have. But yeah, so I think the next thing will be an indoor garden. Let's see, we can make ceiling lights, those long ceiling lights that take the fluorescent light bulbs that are the tubes. So we can make those. And with dirt, you can make blocks of farmable soil. And in this game, you don't actually have to water your crops. You don't have to have them near water or any of that. So that's not a concern. And I do tend to forget to turn on the little light when I'm working in the dark. Not that I can really see any better than you guys can. It's just that I know roughly where I am and all I'm doing is digging. So as long as I'm not really walking forward and potentially falling down an unseen hole in the ground, I'm not terribly concerned with being able to see what I'm doing sometimes. So I forget about it. But now I've got that nice little cheaty light back on. And I don't know, I heard someone mention something about Red maybe removing that because it's technically a bug and not an original part of the game, which would be unfortunate. And now we have chicken for dinner, and that's more iron. It looks like this is really just iron in here, which I really don't need iron. I don't need iron at all. And those of you, oh look, copper, another thing that I don't need. Those of you who were with me during the very lengthy search for gold will understand perfectly why I have absolutely no interest in iron or copper at all. Don't care about them in any way, shape, or form. Cannot even explain how much I don't care. So it looks like this is just really a nice little loop underground. It doesn't look like it's anything terribly, terribly interesting. Technically, we haven't really discovered any actual dungeons. The dungeons that we found, those were when I just hit F2 and flew directly through the world. That's how I found those, because I was having no luck finding gold. So it was kind of frustrating. So we don't actually have any real dungeons that we could just walk through the caves and get to. So I should probably try to find a few of those, or at least create appropriate access points to the dungeons that are down there. I know there's more that I haven't explored because the ones that I found were fairly small, all things considered. So I'm sure that there are more out there. Gosh, those cows are quick little things. It's like they don't want to be food. How strange. All right, we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. It looks like we've got some really good cloud cover moving in. I'm always amazed every time that I see it. I'm amazed by what a great job Red did with the atmospheric conditions in this game. They're just unbelievable. The clouds, the fog, the rain, it's amazing. And I find these little flower patches to be highly irritating. I don't know about you guys. Ooh, look at that. Those are two little offshoots down there. Places we could potentially explore later on. Oh, look, another goat. And some apple and cherry trees. Now, those are spruce trees. I want those. I want those because come December, I do plan on making a Christmas tree. So you need, I believe it is 4 spruce saplings to make a Christmas tree. So we're going to have to go over there into the dark forest and we're going to have to get spruce saplings. Now the problem with the dark forest is that that is where the bears like to hide. So I'm armed here with my trusty battle axe. Hopefully I don't have to use it against anything that is definitely trying to kill me. Well, look at that. Oh, more iron. Okay, look at that. Right next to the watering hole, there's this tiny little hole in the ground. Just big enough for something to fall into. Isn't that exciting? It's one of those things where you want to turn a little light on and hit F2 and just fly down into it just to see if there's something really exciting down at the bottom of what is probably a very nasty drop. And it's a little irritating to me. Actually, okay, it's a lot irritating to me how difficult it is to find stupid saplings after you cut the tree down. It would be really nice if they like turned a different color or something so you could find them because the grass is so tall. Look at that, a sheep. Good. I always want more wool. The grass is so tall that you can't see them. Wow. And this is like, you've got cloud cover and a light fog, which just looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I don't know, I'm tempted, really tempted to just hit F2 and fly around looking for more fruit trees. Yeah, giving in to temptation. I knew I did at some point. And here's my nice little cheaty light. It's so convenient. And from the sky, you can see the difference between regular grass and any sort of edible plants. It's interesting that it seems like the animals always give you something, well, not always, but they frequently give you something different. Now, it's time to find a safe spot to spend the night. Here we go. I like to camp out next to a pond because it provides you with a good source of water. You can take a nice drink before you go to bed. You can fill your canteen if you need to. It's very convenient. Very, very convenient. Although I do intend to build that tent or craft that tent before too long. I don't know if it has any obvious... Oh, that's the same sheep we found. I don't know if it has any obvious advantages over that little shelter, aside from the fact that the thing just looks better. Interestingly enough, I've always found this to be kind of curious. I don't know about you guys, but I have never once been attacked by anything while I was in that shelter. Which, all things considered, seems very strange. And at the moment I'm flying around trying to figure out if there is anything at the edge of these woods that is likely to want to eat me. Because if there is, I'd rather know about it before it gets to me. Because you don't always hear them. When they're running up on you, you don't always know they're there until all of a sudden you're bleeding. You've got the nice red tint all over the screen, your health bar is dropping, and you are scrambling to remember which of your hotkey options holds a weapon. And you better hope that you've remembered to put a weapon onto your hotbar. I've done that before. I have totally done that before, where I'm not planning on hunting anything. Oh, look at that rain. Looks really nice. Almost looks like sleet. But I digress. Where I'm not planning on hunting anything, so I'm not paying adequate attention. I don't have a weapon on my hotbar. I'm just kind of wandering around, picking plants, gathering things up. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get attacked by something. And I don't have a weapon on my hotbar. And sometimes I cannot run away fast enough to save my life, which is very irritating later on because, you know, you're kind of sitting there talking to yourself afterwards going, well, now how on earth did I let that happen? And you have to admit that, oops, I made a mistake and was not carrying a weapon. Bad me. Super embarrassing. Super embarrassing when you're like, I swear, I have a weapon. I have a weapon. Where's my weapon? And it's just sitting in your inventory there. Not doing anything even remotely helpful. All right, so now we have our 4 spruce saplings that we can set aside and save for a time when we want to make our Christmas tree. And that's the same sheep that I ran into before. I think I've run into him twice now. He's probably getting tired of seeing me. He's like, what are you doing? You come along, you take all my nice warm fur coat, my wool, and then you just keep coming back to check on me? Like, yeah, well, thought I'd stop and, you know, see if you grew any more wool. Not really. They don't grow wool that fast, and I know that. Oh, it would be so nice to actually be able to have them in a nice corral. You know, have, I don't know, like maybe six sheep just kind of hanging out in a corral. When it's time, you just wander out and shear them and you're set. You don't have to worry about wool. You don't have to worry about cloth. You've got everything you need just hanging out in the backyard. And I don't know, maybe after the next update, which I've heard a little rumor that somebody heard a little rumor that that update was going to be coming out this month in September. But nobody's heard anything else since then. So I don't know. But I think it is supposed to be soon. And my inventory is full. Shoot, that happens way too often. Got to get rid of things. Never fun. Never fun. Just kind of get rid of whatever's least important. But after that next update comes out and any hot fixes come out and the game stabilizes, then I might go ahead and download that mod and try it out in a test world and see how it reacts, how the game acts. Yeah, we've already found this one and built stairs down into it. And I'm getting myself massively turned around and super embarrassing. I did not realize when I was recording this and checking my compass, I wasn't thinking about the fact that I slept out here in a shelter last night. There's that same sheep again. Should have been a clue. So where's the compass pointing me? It's pointing me to where I pitched my shelter last night. And it took me a little while to realize that. That was really embarrassing when I figured it out, that I was totally going in the wrong direction. And I can't figure out how to get my map to refresh. That was just annoying. I'm over here going, what on earth? What's going on? And then trying to look at the map and figure out where on earth home is, which is nowhere near me, as you can see. See, now that's home, but it doesn't show our current home. It's kind of like it shows home at the time that it was made. So I don't know if I need to make a new map that might actually be accurate, or if I need to, gosh, I don't know if there is actually a way to make it refresh. I'm getting a lot of wool. So there is that. And I have managed to acquire quite a bit of wood. So that's all good. Very, very good. All in all, this has been what I would consider to be a very productive day. That was another little chicken down there. Getting close. Getting close. But yeah, I would like my map to be up to date and accurate. So if anybody knows of a way to actually make the stupid map refresh and show the current structures, that would be awesome if you could drop a comment down below and let me in on that little secret there. Okay, here we are. We're finally home. Look at that. We made it. We made it. All right, so now we've got some tree planting to do here real quick. Let's get these put down. I really am envisioning a very nice large orchard around our pond here. Something that can sustain us rather well, because I do admit our garden is very small. So it's not really all that realistic to think that we could live off just what's in the garden. So obviously the garden is designed to be supplemented through hunting and the orchard and some other gathering. But that's looking pretty good, I think. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. We've got a really good start to our orchard. And I think that by the time we're done, I think it's all going to look really good. I do like the way this looks, but I do think it needs some shelves and another barrel on each side. So I will probably do that during this weekend's live stream. And then I'm going to kind of try and keep the food somewhat organized in here. But you can see just based on how much I have in this storage chest here, and the barrels only have 1 page. So they're pretty small in terms of storage. I'm definitely going to need more. But that is going to do it for today. So be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the episode. Comment down below, leaving your ideas. And I will hope to see you all this weekend for our live stream. We'll do a shore tomorrow morning, Saturday, and then Rising World streaming on Sunday. And I did manage to get quite a bit of wood. So I'm going to say that this was a very, very successful day. Thanks for stopping in, everyone.